Finding partners, and included in that is a practical guide to develop your profile. Now, finding partners is always a problem, not only for you. For you, maybe even a bigger problem, but even for Europeans who are new, who don't have their network from previous projects, it is difficult. So, what are the possible options of finding partners? Before I give you a long list, I ask you, how would you go ahead to find a partner? Many of you already said we have an idea, so fine. But you need a partner. How would you do this? Any ideas?
Maybe looking for the same field of research in different European countries and in different European universities, and spot the closest or the people who work in the same field.
Could be one way, but don't forget, I mean, there are many universities in Europe.
Yeah. Maybe more.
I mean, there are thousands. I mean, where do you start? In principle, I mean, if you say, I just do some Googling on the web to find universities through search, maybe, yeah, it's one way.
I think there's a two-way. Maybe help to find a partner. The first way is to attend a conference in Europe and looking for another project working in the same field. Second is searching out a project in the same field and open the website and join all this project. Try to contact the PI or OPI.
Right. Conference is always a good idea. Look for existing projects. You can find them also if you spend some time on the participant portal. Yes. Anything else?
Maybe from publications.
Publications.
Personal network.
If you have personal contacts, yes. And what I find always interesting, and this hasn't changed much over the last years. Whenever I talk with, let's say, university professors in the region here, they say, why it's so difficult? I don't really know how to find. And I said, look, I mean, you're writing lots of publications, aren't you? Yes, of course I am. And I said, you also write publications together with other authors. I said, yeah. And I remember one case, one professor told me, I just was in Germany 2 weeks ago. At this university, we are both writing together a new paper. It was very interesting. I said, fine. Did you speak to your contact while you were in Germany at the university about FP7? No, he said. I said, why not? I said, I haven't thought of that. And this is not a rare case. It happens quite often that people don't realize what contacts they have. Most of the universities here have 1 or 2 campus projects, and you can find out. Well, campus has nothing to do with research. Fine. But campus is a program for education in the education sector where you team up with other universities in Europe on education, not on research. But you have, through campus, of course, contacts to universities in Europe. Well, use these contacts and ask those people, say, look, we've been working together in campus, but how about doing something in research? Do you know some people within your university? They said, yes, that's a good idea. So quite often I find that researchers here don't realize what contacts they have. They say, well, we have to go somewhere and find people. How do we do this? If you really think about yourself, you have contacts, either through joint publications, through campus projects, whatsoever. Make use of those.
Societies. From the societies, community.
Yeah, society, communities. I mean, some of you are in whatever.
Scientific society.
Yes. I mean, from the ICT field, I say you're probably quite a number of the ICT people here are in IEEE. So fine, you have IEEE conferences, you have other conferences in all your fields. There you find Europeans. Speak to them. Ask them. Say, okay, I want this. What about you? They may be surprised and say, you want an horizon? Doesn't matter. It is a way of using existing contacts, previous, current project partners, whatever, your networks. Business partners. If you're from the private sector, Maybe you did some business with Europeans. You sold something there. You know some European, your clients, your customers. Maybe not. But you have to think about it. Colleagues, ask your colleagues. Maybe some of your colleagues in Cairo University. Of course, they have been in projects. If they're from big universities. So find out who inside your university is or has been in a project. Ask them. If you're larger companies, internal company networks. So ask inside your company, is anybody, do you have some contacts with Europeans? One of the, I would say, most important and best ways of finding partners are information days and other events that are organized by the European Commission. And you will find quite a number of these information days towards the end of this year. Because the new work programs will come out sometime after the summer break. I already saw a pre-announcement in the, I think, environment field. So there will be a number of events, information days, in September, October, maybe even November this year. They're mostly in Brussels, or if not in Brussels, in any other European city. So they're free to attend, but of course I realize that if you go there, you spend some money on traveling. So you have to find a source to finance that. But this is by far the best way. All the people who go to information days in Europe, okay, the majority are Europeans, go there not to find out about the current cause. I mean, okay, there are presentations by the Commission, but the main idea is to find partners there. Whoever goes there to find a partner. So it's very easy in the right environment. This really is an enabling environment, because they all go there with the same idea. You don't have to explain why you are there. It's obvious that you are there. Also, if there are some questions, if some things are not quite clear from the context, the Commission people are there. You can ask them. That's why they are there. So, they're by far the best way. However, you have to be well prepared. This is something that the second part of my presentation. If you're not well prepared, it is a waste of time and money. So, public partner search. I will show you the quota system of the European Commission. I'm not sure if the EN network, if Egypt is a partner there. I'm not sure. The European Enterprise Network. LinkedIn, whatever other media there are. LinkedIn is also a good way to find partners. None of these is a guarantee to find one. But these are the options. There are specific support actions. I mean, there are projects like MedDialogue. The projects, support action projects in other fields. They're probably running. Some of them are running in your country. Try to find out which projects there are. The support activities have also sort of a certain mandate to find, if possible, partners for you. It was mentioned here, scientific publications, patent databases. I mean, we're talking so much about innovation. So whatever idea you have should be an idea that is marketable. Now, even if your idea may be vague now, what it should be the final product, you will still be able to go through patent databases and find out, is there something similar on the market? The point is here that you find out who is applying or who has got a patent on some similar technologies. These, in principle, could be partners for you, especially from private business. Scientific conferences and seminars, not only publications, scientific conferences. There are lots of scientific conferences. They're a bit different to information days, because on a scientific conference, the people who come there for the scientific conference, not for finding partners. But you have the potential partners there. So there you have to explain a bit more what you want to do. Well, on the information day, it's clear. Internet. Search on Internet. Google on Internet. For your topic area, for universities, for whatsoever. I mean, we have these nice facilities. Make use of them. So these are possible options. And if you're creative, you find more options. Now, let us have a closer look at the Cordis side. Cordis, I think I'll mention the link later on. is a commission site that provides information about running projects. It's usually updated, not very often, but if you want to know which projects there were in FP7 or even FP6 and so on, you find it there. It has a partner search facility, and this is what I'm showing you now. And here you find, this is from this month, people can put a partnership request on Cordis. So, okay, I'm interested in this call, I need partners with the following profile. So, okay, say I am so-and-so, this is what I'm doing, so a partnership request. Currently there are more than 5,000 partnership requests on Cordis. And I mean, if you see such a big number, I usually get a bit suspicious. It's a very high number. But okay, there are filter mechanisms, so you can filter. Out of these, 1,100 are directly proposing a project. So okay, we want to do this project, and we are looking for partners. Others, the majority, say, well, we just offer our expertise. We're not quite clear about the project, but we are this organization, we are good in this, this, and this. So maybe somebody finds us and says, that's the partner we need, and contact you. That's the idea about this. Now, let us have a look at what these partnership requests, or I think I'll first go to the offering collaboration, what they look like. And I'll give you two examples. And this site is open. I mean, it takes you 5 minutes to register, and once you have your request written, you just upload it, and it's there. So it's open for you as well, so no problem. So how do you do this? And this is an example of that you should not follow. This is an example from an Italian company, apparently. That's this lady, the contact person. And you find in this Cordis, firstly on the left side, the areas. You still find quite a lot of FP7 areas here. But still, I mean, if you look at the topics, topic here is transport, renewable sources of energy, energy saving, and so on. It goes environmental protection, waste management, employment issues, security policy, technology transfer, cooperative scientific research, business aspects, and so on. But what she says is basically, I'm interested in everything, and I can offer something in everything. Again, if you read this, partner expertise, you have again, from transport to regulations to security to research ethics, everything there. Now, does it help you? No. Would you contact this person and say, I'm looking for a partner, and I see that you're interested in fisheries. You should be probably the right partner. No, you will never do this, because I mean, if somebody says fisheries and then scientific research and energy saving, this can't be serious. And I don't think it is serious. So, this is not a good example because it's completely unspecific. There's another example, and this is to the point. Here's a guy from Ireland, and he says, okay, my topic area is wireless sensor network design and implementation. Okay, clear topic. If this is your topic, you read. If it's not your topic, okay, you skip it. And here he says, we can provide wireless sensor network design and remote monitoring of street lighting, radio frequency, antenna, wireless design expertise, and so on. Clear to the point. These are all sort of sensible things for somebody who is an expert in sensor network design. Then he says, description of the collaboration thought, what he needs, expertise, what he needs from other partners. So this is absolutely clear. If this is your area, you find something like this, you say, okay, I'll contact this person. In the example before, you will never contact that person because she said is interested in everything, expertise in everything, which of course is not true. And you find a lot. So there is one group of requests that are to the point, that are useful, and there's a large amount of requests that are not useful. So when you write something, make sure you fall into this category, that you're short but precise. You see later on how you can do that. So create your own partnership request. Once you register on Cordis, if you say, okay, I want to create my partnership request, you get this simple form to fill in what you offer expertise, for example, the title of the expertise you offer, what we just saw, wireless network design, description of the expertise, what you offer, so a bit more. Which call are you interested? So here you select the call from the work program, that this is my interest. What role do you want to play? You want to be a project coordinator? Probably not, so you say project partner. So it's easy. The difficult thing is sort of describing your expertise in a clear way. Also what Cordis offers is a list of open calls, like what we saw on the participant portal. There you have all the open calls. Now this is done from a slightly different perspective, because here you have the open calls and you can see the requests of people directly corresponding to an open call. So let's go on open calls. You have, I forgot how many pages, there are not that many at the moment. So it gives you the call identifier, the title, the budget, deadline, once published, and how many partnership requests there are for this specific call. You see, in some cases it's only 1 or 8, 5, 9, 17. So you don't deal with very large numbers here. So it's something that is manageable. Let's go back to the this call, sustainable food security, authentication of food products. You remember I just mentioned this for the traps to fall into. So this is the part A, part B, because part A is closed. So you will not see, at this point of time, May this year, you will not see the part A, because that was last year. So you see this one, authentication of food products, should aim at facilitating cooperation between European research funding bodies in the area of authentication. It should provide the basis for excellent exchange of information, future collaboration in relation to facilitating stock-taking of ongoing research, identifying future research priorities, and preparing the ground for improved coordination and research. Remember what I said, this part is not a research or innovation activity, this is a coordination action. So, you do coordination here. Fine. For this topic. So, just to remind you. Now, we look, I think we have, out of these 17 we find here, I picked this one. I said, olive oil? This person is on olive oil. You remember my example? That was last year. Anyway, it's there. And this is what I did this month. So, let's look at that. Our description, brief description of the company, non-profit organization, it's fine. We like to propose a project regarding the olive oil production, quality, marketing, information, and architecture. Is it serious? We were talking about a thing last year. So, whatever he writes here, very briefly, is referring to a topic from last year. However, he says it is the called authentication of food products. So this is clearly wrong. Don't do this. So this person has fallen into the trap I previously mentioned. You just saw the olive oil, so fine, olive oil, oh last year is close, I take this year. Useless. If you do something like this, you wasted your time, because you haven't read the context. Now if I look at all the other ones here, and I just show a few ones, unfortunately none of them really makes reference to the call they claim to. So these partnership requests are useless. This is one of the big problems in Cordis. You may find a good one, but you really have to search quite a while. And whenever I do this, I've never used Cordis myself for finding partners, but of course I've used it quite a lot to explain to people what it is. And when I look for these examples, I always say, oh my God, what is all the crap in here? So you have to go through that. I'm not saying you will never find anything, you will find. But it's a difficult procedure. And the main message I want to bring over, it is still not a bad idea for you to launch your partnership request in Corpus. You never know, somebody may find it. But remember these examples, so be absolutely clear. Don't do things that many people do. Just write something of this Italian lady. My first example. Of course, at the end, you find a specific call, because you always have to put a call in. You cannot write a partnership request without a specific reference to a call. So the reference she put in for the call is completely unrelated to what she wrote. Like this one with the olive oil and food authentication. The guy simply hasn't read properly the work program. So if you do that and people see that, of course you will never get a response from somebody who found you. So that is the most important message here. Some examples, I mentioned the information days. Sometimes you find calls for brokerage days. Also, in most of the cases, related to an open call. This is just for an example. This is from 2013, so it's old, but the principle is the same. This was organized by, I can't remember which project, we'll see all the partners involved. And these brokerage days are usually 2 days. First day you have an information day, so the work program is explained, and the second day is a brokerage event. So there you really present your ideas. And you have to, if you want to do this, these sites then have the registration facility, and in that one you describe what you want to do. So this is an example. You don't have to go through the text. And this is an example. It looks similar to partnership requests and calls, but I mean the structure depends on how the people want it from a specific event. And here again, you describe clearly what you want, what you can offer. And everybody who goes to that brokerage event will read the profiles before. So when you go there, you know exactly who will present what idea on a brokerage event. And ideally, you should be there with your idea. You say, okay, this is my expertise, this is what I'm looking for, and so on. And then you have a very targeted approach. Again, the problem is, what do you write here? How clear are you? If you're not clear there, you can still go there, but don't expect a lot of feedback. A few words about the communication that you need when you look for partners. To achieve partnering, communication needs to be carefully prepared. Either in written form, you have to be very clear how you communicate when you meet people in person. You have to prepare the combination to get the right messages across. Planned communication, you have to reflect the following. I'm not quite sure what happened to my formatting. Last time I looked at it, it was all on one slide. Anyway. Planning communication. One of the important things here is you have to put yourself in the position of your potential partner. You want to speak to somebody and explain him who you are and what you want. Now, the question is, what do the people you speak to, what do they need to know from you? What do they want to hear from you? And also, think about what will stop them listening. If you tell them something that is not relevant, they will stop listening. And the whole conversation you started will just end up in polite small talk and again, lost. So, you have to think about this. Identify and list your different potential partners. Identify whom to communicate with and why. This was the exercise of analyzing the cortex. Come up with work packages and think, what skills of partners, what partners do I need for my specific work packages? So, you have to have that list. On these information days of brokerage events, there are sometimes 100, 200 people. If you go to the big ICT ones, we had one last year in Florence, the ICT Partner Day. If you don't organize yourself before and register, you are lost. We had about 5,000 people there at one event. So is no way you can find people that you can talk arbitrarily to people who find you meet there. But if you meet the right one, it's pure luck. But again, those people had, for this event, you could register before, book one-to-one meetings, and there were hundreds of these meetings, 15 minutes. You could book that before, it was scheduled. You said, I want to speak to that person. Fine, do that. But then, of course, if you speak to that person, you need the right message. 15 minutes. And if you say something that will stop them listening, they will stop listening after 2 or 3 minutes. They will being polite, so you will talk about 15 minutes there, but it will be small talk. So, you have to be clear what partners you are looking for. And then drill down into your communication objectives and clarify the specific objectives for each audience. What do they need and what to know from you? Different audiences. If you are on an information day, it's a different audience as if you are on a scientific conference. So you have to be aware of that. On a scientific conference which is not focusing on Horizon 2020 partner finding, you have first to explain to people what it is about. You cannot say, are you interested in this call? You will say, sorry, what are you talking about? There you have to explain you're interested in Horizon 2020, you're interested in collaborative research, and there is this topic area, and then you find out, does the person know about it or not? If he doesn't really know about it, you have to explain a bit more, and then come to presenting yourself. So it's different. You have to take these different cases into account. Be prepared for return questions. Because sometimes the problem, you sit at your desk and think, how can I present myself? I have to write this, I have to say something about this and this, so, and at the end you say, okay, now I have a nice sort of communication plan. And you go with that and talk to people. But be prepared for questions. They're not just listening and at the end say, oh brilliant, yes, we go together. No. They will ask you something. Try to figure out what can they ask you. They can ask you about your organization, about yourself, about your skills. I mean, you cannot present everything. You cannot present a full CV in the short discussion. But let them think what they ask. There is one issue, and I'll say this again later. When you come as an Egyptian to an event in Brussels, what is the first thing you do? You tell them, look, I'm from Egypt. Why? Many people say, yeah, I'll tell them my name is, yeah, I come from Egypt, from that university. Okay, that's one way of doing it. It's not the one I would strongly recommend. You don't look like Europeans, but if you nowadays go to Europe, you find many people there living in Europe who don't look like Europeans. I'm giving currently a class at the university in Bremen for international cooperation, students in the second year. When I came, I looked at the list of participants and said, what's this? Just the name of about 18 students. And there were about 5 names that were clearly German names. The rest wasn't. And when I came there and the students were there, it was obvious, I mean, the majority is not from origin German. They all have a German passport. They're all German nationality. Some of them are born in Germany. They're from Turkish families. Some of them came to Germany when they were 15, came from Lebanon, from other countries. They live in Germany. They are Germans. They all have German nationality. So this is what you currently see. So if you meet somebody in Brussels that looks like, let's say, a Turkish, that looks like you do, I would not automatically assume that you're from outside Europe. I mean, Europe is changing. If you go to the UK, I mean, the ethnic scope is widening and widening. So don't tell people from the first place that you're from Egypt. For a simple reason that I still believe that most of the Europeans in this field, in our field, will say, but you cannot participate in Horizon 2020, you're not European. Because that's what still many people believe. And then you have to explain, no, we can participate and whatsoever. Leave that for a later point. Just focus on what you want to do. And if the person is interested, and you start the discussion about, yeah, let's do this, let's do that, I have this idea, then at some point he will ask you, or you can say, from where are you? And then you can say, I'm from Egypt. But don't start with that right at the beginning. Because, as I said, many people, also unfortunately in the Horizon 2020 area, are pretty ignorant about the scope of Horizon 2020. And you don't want to spend the first 5 minutes explaining to them that yes, that Egypt can participate. This is not the point. You can do this at a later stage. Many people you will meet will say, oh fine, but this is not my topic area. So you say, oh fine, thanks, nice meeting you. That's it. And when it really gets interesting, then you go to the stuff. So, but these are sort of return questions that you have to take into account. Not just sort of fixing or learning your profile by heart and then trying to just go through what you memorized. No, try to be flexible. Plan out a message for each audience. I mean, what is the main message you want to bring over? Start by thinking about the broadest audience first and then say, okay, this is my concept. Now I go to this event, so this is a very specific one, I narrow it. I go to another event, I narrow it in a slightly different way. If you can, try to get feedback. Feedback on how your message came over. I know it is very difficult and you will not find many occasions to do that, but try to find out. Because that then can help you to tune any future communications. One other aspect is very important. You go probably to such event with a clear idea in mind. You have an idea for Horizon 2020. If it fits or not is a different question, but you have an idea, and this is your idea. Now what you do present your idea, you tell people, look, I have an excellent idea. The idea is the following. I know many people say, no, I mean, I'm not giving my idea away. I mean, I still don't know if that person is interested. Maybe he thinks the idea is brilliant and then he says, I'm not interested, and steals my idea. You know, can happen. What do? You don't tell him your idea. Well, in that case, he will never say, oh yeah, let's do something together, it's a good idea. So, what do? There is this important thing of self-disclosure. You need the ability to disclose relevant information. If you don't tell people what your idea is, you will never find a partner. Of course you run the risk that somebody steals your idea. So it's up to you now to find to what extent you really describe your idea. To some extent that is sufficiently attractive that somebody says, oh, that's good, I haven't thought of that. Yeah, let's do something. At that level he can try to steal your idea, but without knowing the details, probably difficult. And in any case, you have to take that risk. And if you don't want to take that risk, well, don't go for collaborative projects. This sharing of knowledge, sharing of ideas, will go throughout the project when you have a project. You can never keep something for yourself, because that is exactly the idea of collaboration. And if you don't want this is fine, there's no problem. There are people who say, no, I don't want to share my ideas. Nothing against, but then a collaborative project is not the best way to go into. You have to share some personal, business experiences, and the most important thing, you have to provide honest, direct and timely feedback. This is critical. And by timely feedback, I mean, when you meet somebody, you won't have much time to discuss. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if it's really interested, okay, you meet in the afternoon, you sit with me for half an hour, that's it. So you can only do the first thing. Then you say, okay, let's exchange emails and discuss this more deeply on emails. I send you my idea, you send me your idea, whatever papers you have, and then you leave. Now, the most important point is that as soon as you're back home, you do this. You send the email, whatever you agreed. And quite often, people don't. And I have good experience with that. You meet people at the conference and say, oh, brilliant. Well, they say, oh, I'll send you the information. Never comes. Or it comes 2 weeks after, which also already looks sort of pretty bad. You say, oh, he's forgotten, and suddenly he remembers 2 weeks later. It doesn't leave a good impression. And this is one of the most important points. And I think the situation has changed, but in the early days I worked here in the region, especially in some countries, not so much Egypt, but also here. There was still this lack of culture of quick response on emails. And I remember 20 years ago, a friend of mine was trying to do some business here, so in the business field there were only emails, there was fax. And he had some very good sort of perspectives of business, met somebody who was here with me, and met some people really interested. It was nothing to do with him, with Horizon or anything in research. So we went home and said, oh, brilliant, I'm sure we'll get something out of this. So we sent a fax to sort of confirm everything, and we waited. Sent another fax. Nothing, no reply. And then there was a reply, I think 10 days later, saying, yeah, thanks for your fax, we reply soon. So, okay, I give up. I mean, this is not the context I want to do business with. Okay, this was nearly 20 years ago. But there is this lack of culture. And I try to tell them, I said, look, I mean, it's a different culture. I mean, be patient. You can still do business, but you need patience. I said, maybe, but this is not the way I do business. I'm used to do business with China. I said, is this different? He said, yes. I send a fax, and in those days they wanted to save paper. They take the same fax that they received, scribble their reply on, and send it back. I said, 2 hours, unless I send it in the middle of the night. Then I have the feedback. So this is the way I want to do business. I don't want to wait a week or 10 days and say, maybe if they're interested. We had a personal discussion. The same is still true for emails. Okay, keep this in mind. If you don't respond timely, you will lose your contact. So, now comes the next session. What is a profile and why would you need one? Now before we do that, we go for lunch. Because after lunch we go through your profile, and then we also go through an exercise. One of the things with the profile is, I mean, you all have a CV. Everybody has a CV. You've written your CVs probably several times. And if you're really honest, it's not easy to write a CV. The easiest thing is to list your publications. I mean, nothing about it. But you have to describe yourself. You have to describe your experience and skills. It's difficult. The structure of a CV is that simple. You can read it everywhere on the internet, and CV has to do this, and this. You're fine. Big deal. You write it and say, well, does it look right? Because one of the problems is you yourself cannot really judge if what you've written really reflects you. This is really you. I mean, you see it from your point of view. So it is a difficult thing to do. And getting it to the point is even more difficult. So this is what we go through after lunch. And the CV is not only a CV for applying for a job. You need the CV, or I call it profile, which is more general, for finding a partner. Without that, you will never find a partner. So let's have a lunch and then come back after lunch. Thank you.